Oop. Oh, here we are. Sorry. Us and the collaboration we're going to have going forward.
No better way to communicate to your audience.
How do we grow strategically now that we've gotten the right path forward? Hey, Christina, thank you for being here. Everybody, Agents Who Win, Todd Schroth, and wanted to welcome you to our show today. Today, I'm talking to Christina Rordam about being involved in your association and the Board of Realtors. Christina, I really thank you for being here today.
Of course, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, hold on one second. I just want to trying to turn on focus here.
No worries.
Apologies. I'm realizing while I'm talking to you that I hadn't turned on focus, and I'm like, I don't want to get a bunch of notifications. Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. No. I've seen you do these live streams. It's so cool to be on with you.
No, you and I sit on a board together on a panel, and you mentioned you're watching the shows. I'm like, I need to have you on as a guest. I would really love to learn some more about you as an agent and a person, and like why being involved, early in your career. So give me a little background on yourself and, when you got into real estate and your journey up till today, or just like your journey into real estate.
Yeah. My family was in real estate. So my mom was a realtor. My dad was a realtor. They owned a little brokerage for a while. And actually, my mom was with Remax Southwest. Our past president, Reese Stewart, is the broker over there. So I just kind of grew up doing that, being around that, helping her go look for FSBOs, sit at open houses. A little child labor, I always like to say. She got folding the newsletters. Yeah. So it was kind of, my whole family did it. I got into retail management. My store got robbed.
Okay.
I got maced and beat up over $200 worth of capri pants. And I said, you know what? I think I need to maybe look for a new career path.
Oh my God. So real estate, I don't know if it's any safer, but hey, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, so I just pivoted into real estate. I took my license. I got into new homes. The market started to crash. My neighbor was Tom Murphy, and at the time, he had already been doing foreclosures, and then this huge wave of foreclosures came, and so I hopped on his foreclosure team, and we were listing foreclosures for all the major banks, and then just kind of pivoted into like a referral-based business, which is where I'm at now.
Cool. Well, it's funny you mentioned Tom because he actually used to work for me back in the 90s at a company I had.
No way!
Yep. And my mother also works at Remax Property Southwest.
Oh my gosh.
Small world there. And I've
know.
known Reese forever. So he's a good guy. He used to be the broker at our Remax office here in Longwood before he went down to Property Southwest.
Yeah,
so
I love
that's why I'm always talking to him and getting little tidbits and kind of some advice here and there.
He's a good egg.
He's great. So you got into the sales side and you're doing well now. So you're wondering what about 10, 12 years now in the sales in the real estate?
It'll be 18 in July.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that long. So you got in, and I got in 2000. You're 2002. So that's a good long trek of like the wave of real estate down to the crash, back up again, and kind of working from there. So when did you get involved in, the whole idea I want to interview on is getting involved in the associations. So what point in your career did you start to like say, hey, I want to get involved and see what's going on behind the scenes?
Yeah. You know what? I had, I think it was like 2016. And I think, first of all agents should pay attention to the association's emails because there's a lot of good opportunities, a lot of good information. I talk to so many agents that don't read the emails from Aura and they just delete. Well, they sent out an email, and the email was about looking for 20 under 40. They were looking for the top 20 agents under the age of 40. You had to apply, submit why you thought you were qualified. So basically I applied and I was selected. I was in that 20 under 40 class for the Young Professional Network with Aura. They continue to have, that to this day. I think it's a really great way to recognize, young agents and people that are up and coming. So that's kind of how I got involved. I won. I was one of the 20. We had a really great ceremony. Yeah, it was a great feeling. And then that just kind of the next year I was on the committee for YPN, and then that just kind of it grew from there.
So it's funny. I got when I was 25, I got my license and then got involved in the board then. And, I got into YPN, and it was right when it was getting started. And I think like right after that, it died off. And then another president came back and brought it back to life. And I actually stepped aside from it. And so it's cool being involved in that, because then, at 25 and working at Remax, I was the youngest person in the office by 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the average age of the realtor was probably 65 years old. Now it's like,
Right.
I think 50.
Yeah.
The good. It's good that the average age is going down, because the younger populations is realizing what a valuable career can be, getting in early and running it as a long-term career path versus a second, third, or fourth career.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. It's so cool because it's, I mean, I'd like to see there be a little bit higher barrier to entry, but I mean, I think once there's not that high of a barrier of entry to get in, but they don't have to have these huge crushing student loan debts. And then, I think
correct.
once you get in, you're either going to sink or swim. So the good
Right.
agents kind of sort themselves out. But you're right. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity for people to build a life for themselves without, having all this crushing debt that so many people have.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest thing. I mean, my student loan's what, $1,000, because that's with the board fees. And when an agent comes to me and says, "Well, I want to join your company, but I don't have the money to get involved in the board, to pay the board fees," it's $1,500. It's the cheapest business you can start. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to have the 90 days of income survival either. So that's the biggest challenge we have when we're interviewing people. So you started off with, at YPN, and then you got on the committee there. Now you're going into, like, what was the value of getting involved there? I mean, why? Because our income, we don't get paid to be involved in the board. There's no value given except your leadership. And so why take away from time you can make sales to give back to the association?
I think it's a couple of reasons. When I first, the first thing I just was, I was looking to get the recognition. I wanted to be recognized. And then from there, I met some, I met like Chris Atwell and, another one of our board members. And I made a lot of friends, kind of developed a sense of community, and it was helpful. You're making connections with people. It's good for your business. It helped me grow as a professional. And I think it's just important. You just kind of start to become more involved. People ask you to do things. And then you realize, I hear a lot of agents that complain about Aura or NAR or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, don't complain, do something about it. Go get yourself a seat at the table, get involved. I think it is important. I think Aura and NAR and Florida Realtors do a lot of great things to advocate for homeowners. And I think that we need to protect home ownership and the American dream. It sounds corny, but it's true. Jeff Fagan is really passionate about that. There's a fund for affordable housing, and people keep dipping into it. It's not being used the way it's supposed to be used. So I think it's important that we show up, that we can kind of be the guardians of that. And then, like I said, I want to have a seat at the table and have a say, and just be involved and make a positive impact.
No, that's good stuff. And I think the connection too, because as like I'm got an offer out right now with one of our current board members, I'm like, hey, maybe the recognition there will help understand what kind of agent I am, to help explain to the seller, hey, you work with a good guy here. And you got 5-6 offers. It's not always about the terms, it's always about the people you're working with as well, when we're presenting the stuff. So it's also making those connections. And the people that are involved, I haven't met yet. I've been here for 21 years selling real estate, and it's nice to get to know some new faces. Especially being like, this 2021 COVID scenario where you're not out at a lot of conferences or anything anymore, and getting to know your locals again, is what I like to call it. So you did YPN. Now you just got on board of directors. What's the next step with that? Why not stay in the committees there? Why go right to board of directors?
Well, again, I think it's about having involvement and having a greater impact, and just trying to advocate for the membership, because I think we have an important profession. I think it's a great opportunity for so many people. So our membership, we can have a really great impact on the community. And again, I want to be involved. We are paying our dues. I want to be involved. I want to be able to kind of help steer things in the right direction. And just be a part of the decision-making process. So it's such an interesting time, right? After coronavirus, and we were declared essential, and so many people have chosen to move to Florida. And I just think the association is working on some really great things to try to, generate good things in the community, revenue, make a positive impact. So again, it's really just all about having a seat at the table and having a positive impact.
Right. No,
And like you said about knowing agents, like, yeah, I mean, everybody has really high ethics. Like you're not really just dealing with people that only care about sales. You're dealing with people that actually, you know what I mean?
want to be part of something and help out and give back.
If I get a contract from you, I'm like, okay, I know this is a professional agent. So yeah, it's really good. I think more, like you said, more people should get involved,
Yeah. So it's funny now that we both got elected at the same time. So now we're coming in on the board side. And then once you get in, they ask you to be involved in more stuff. And what was the next nomination? Hey, you want to join the state? So, my big question to you, and I've got my answer, but is like, now you're on the board of you're on the board for the Real Estate Association. You're on the board for the state. And we're just getting our feet wet with this, with the orientations and things. How do you, how will you control your day to where it's like, okay, I can have time for this meeting, but also sell real estate? Because we're the income earners. I mean, we have to be out there. And especially in today's market, sorry, I can't make that board meeting because I got to run to show this house. Then you don't get to be part of that.
Right. Yeah. It's always been a little bit of a juggling act. I think at this point, I'm trying to develop more systems, automate the things that I can, just develop a workflow that I can offload some of the tasks that I am not essential to completing. I have to do a little bit better planning, and I might be looking to expand. But yeah, I mean, now that being on the board, obviously, as we're both seeing, I mean, it's a higher level of involvement. There's a large commitment of time. We're not paid for that. We still have to run our business. So, I'm still figuring that out. What I've done up until now is just, like I said, I work with a team that supports me. I try to develop systems where, it's all about planning, scheduling. If you can develop a system that will help offload some of that minutia. And that's basically it. You got to focus on the essential tasks. And just try to be really smart with your time, because you really have to be very intentional.
You do.
It's a large commitment of time. It definitely is. I know.
Well, that's why I keep questioning, like, what's involved this month? Because we get some things thrown at you, like the Friday meeting, and then you have, what else is going to come up that we need to be involved in on it. And, I'm happy with the state stuff, because guess where the conferences held for the state? Here in Orlando. We don't need to go anywhere, to change that.
Which is cool,
this week we've got our conferences Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which will be great because we don't need to drive far. And then they're talking about reimbursements for mileage. I'm like, literally, we're going to go 30 miles to potentially get to the event. Like, but there's expenses, and obviously the expenses over time can get excessive. But I'm excited about what being involved in the local and state level are. I got involved when I was 25. I'm 47 now, and I've 22 years later in the business, deciding to take another stab at it, not getting involved in the committees, but going right to the board level. So most agents, and you also have to you get voted in. So it's not like you just, hey, I'm going to get on the board of realtors. No, you've got to go out and have a brand, have recognition out there, and have the support of your real estate community to be in there. So my question is, like, if it was me all over again, or you're giving me advice as a new agent coming in, where do you think I should get started? And what I mean by that is, do I just jump into YPN and just be part of the association, go to the events, or do I get involved in committees?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, okay, so let's say just today specifically, if I was talking to a new agent that was considering getting involved, they want to know how, being that we're past the deadline for committees and all of that, I would say just, sign up for, like, Global's a great one. YPN if you're younger. I mean, honestly, YPN's for all ages. It's just a great networking opportunity. But those are two
I haven't
committees.
Aged out.
Well, I'm right behind you.
Yeah. Well, and I got to throw a joke out there. I had a friend he was an agent in our office. I was 25, he was 39. We were both at the meeting. I'm like, this is for like under 40, dude. You got like 1 year, man. I got like 15. And then of course I only was in it for 1 year, and then now I'm like 47. I'm like, well, guess I ain't gonna be in that no more.
Oh my God. I know. Yeah, we used to hear that a lot. We're like, it's fine. It's like the Women's Council of Realtors. Anybody
Right.
can join.
When I heard a guy was
Um,
in there, I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. I would just say they have a lot of fun social events, like YPN's always doing stuff, Global's always doing stuff. So these are, you got a lot of opportunities, a lot of great educational opportunities. So just join, go check out some of the events, look at the association emails, please.
That's another
Stop
thing
delete
another topic I wanted to bring up.
Stop deleting them. Look at them.
Yes.
Look at the events because there's going to be some fun events. I mean, go have a cocktail, go network with some agents, and then just see what you like. If there's something and then as they start selecting towards October, November, you can apply to be on something that you like and just pick something that you enjoy. If you're under 40 and you're like, okay, I want to network with the younger agents. Maybe apply for YPN. If you're um, you know maybe you have some international connections or you want to do international business, apply for global. But I would say just start going to some events. There's a lot of great socializing that you can do, a lot of great networking. It's no, you might have a small ticket price. Some of the events are free. Go have fun, network, see what you like, and then go from there.
That's good advice. Like, don't just jump into committees. Just jump in and see what they're about. And then, like, I like the idea of going to the social stuff for YP and get to know the other leaders there and talk to them and say, hey, should I get involved in grievance? Should I get involved in global? Should I get involved in YPN? And can I be on the association side of YPN? On the email side, I was having one of my team meetings and I was like, guys, do you get this email? And they're like, no, we just delete those. Our company emails that come across for the trainings that are in the world. And I was like, so you guys don't see this, like, how to sell 100 homes in the next 30 days email? Like, I would love to listen to that, whatever the email is.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we just assume those are all junk, so we just delete them. Okay, well, there's value in these emails.
Yeah.
And so read them. You can, like every email, you could scan it quick, delete it, or read it if it's got some, obviously the headline has to have some attention. But like your, emails about the board, I think it was the third one that I'd gotten that really made me pay attention to want to get involved and run for the board of directors. And so it's like, read them and see what's going on.
And so many people won't. So it's like with the 20 under 40, I mean, not everybody is applying that could. So you might have a better chance than you think of getting recognized for things like that. So, I mean, there's a ton of opportunities like that.
Yeah, and it's just if you can get out and get the attention there, then you're doing good. And that's the thing is, read the emails, be involved. I mean, there's not everything is where being involved means getting on a committee. Being involved means going to the social stuff. Being involved means just giving back time to some volunteer things they have, whatever it is.
Totally.
Just see what's going on, and then build your track from there. Because I see these guys who are like, man, they've been in the association forever. Like Reese, for example. I mean, he's been on everything, and then all of a sudden he's president. I thought, wasn't he already president? But and then it's like, what's after that? Somehow they're still involved in things. I'm like, hey, and I appreciate the leadership of the ones that are in there. I call them the lifers that are committed, that are at everything, doing that stuff. So now that you're on directorship, let's kind of talk on your side for a second. What's the next step for you? I know we have a 3-year term with the board in the state. What's next after that for you in the association side?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of just taking it as it goes. I don't necessarily have a huge master plan. I want to continue to be involved. Obviously, as you climb higher and higher, you have opportunities like potentially being the president or, you might be the president of the association. You could move on. And I will tell you this, what I'm thinking, I'd like to be more involved on the state level. Okay. I was on some committees last year. I want to be, try to be a little bit more involved with NAR. So, just continue on the path that I'm going. I have, an interview for the Florida Realtors Leadership Academy today. So fingers crossed.
Yes, we are.
Opportunity. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just see where it goes.
Cool.
I'd like to be involved more on the state and the national level. Cause I think it's important. If I'm not mistaken, I think, NAR has the second largest political action committee.
Yep.
Behind the rifle guys. So, and we actually do, like I said, like Jeff Fagan really brought up to me that fund where it's supposed to be used for affordable housing, but we have seen that it is not always being used for that. So we can have a really positive impact, and things like that are really important. So I just want to look to do whatever I can do to have a little bit of an impact, not just locally, but on a state and a national level. So whatever that looks like, I'm just going to try to follow that path.
No, I like that. And if it's getting more involved state level, I think is great. The thing they kept pushing to us in the Friday orientation is it's one, being involved and learning. And I love that you're getting involved in the leadership class, because that I'm looking forward to that as well, because it's going to help me in the next level of my leadership skills, and learning from others who are doing this stuff. But they kept talking about connections and becoming that referral source. I've built my business on a lot of out of state referrals, going to a lot of the REMAX events that I go to now, the EXP events that we're going to. And I always, if there's an event, if it's a small mastermind, 150 people somewhere out of this state, I'm there. I'm there talking to agents. I'm there getting business cards. And I'm there, connecting with them after the fact. If we're involved in I've got a group that I'm involved in a mastermind every other week with. We're going 5 years now. And if they see my name in a Facebook group, Todd Schroth, Orlando, if I see their name, we're reciprocating that right back to them. You got to call Robert, you got to call Mark, you got to call Jason, for that. And these are guys that are all over the country and 2 that are out of the country. So it's awesome to, have those connections and those cheerleaders, outside of the area as well for you. So that's the other thing that I like. I was like, actually he's pretty good. We can make a lot of out-of-state referral connections, because there are going to be events that they want us to go to that are in Chicago or wherever the other stuff is, and checking that stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's definitely like that was one of the great things when I got involved. I met a lot of great agents, agents running, extremely successful business models, like yourself. So it's always great because, like you said, you start to realize everybody involved typically has a high level of ethics. So again, if somebody gets an offer from somebody else that they've spent time with, at the board volunteering, they're like, oh, okay, I know this person is reliable, honest, high ethics. It is just good for your business. I mean, at the end of the day, it is all about like who right? This is a business where you got to know people, you got to get out in front of people. So yeah, I think that's great. It's all about the referrals.
Let me back up to the beginning of the show. I wanted to ask you, what does your transaction side look like? What's like 2020 and 2021 look like? The agent or volume you did per year?
I did just under 8, right around 8 last year. Yesterday. It really
I wish I did 8 million yesterday. It was great.
It feels like 2020 part 3 right now.
Yeah.
So,
let's not call it that.
I don't know. I'm like, where are we? Did I fall into a wormhole? I know we were joking earlier about the next coronavirus variant being the zombie. I'm like, oh my God. I saw a meme where it's like, now I know for a fact after going through this pandemic with some people, I'm like, some of you guys would hide your zombie bite.
Yeah, exactly.
I did about 8 million, and the year before about 7. So
what does that look like transaction side?
In terms of like buy, sell?
Yeah.
Like listings versus buyers?
No, just like numbers. Was it 30 or 40 deals?
Yeah, I think it's just under 30 each year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my price, obviously the market prices went up. My price point was a little higher last year. Okay. So want to build on that, but yeah, it's right around 30 for each. I don't know the exact number, but right around 30 for each of those 2 years. It's usually I'm pretty consistent right in that range.
That's a lot. Now, are you doing just referral based?
I'm referral based.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So that's another show I want to almost have you on, is like, how are you creating your referral systems to keep that kind of volume? Because, referral, if you don't keep in touch with the people, it's going to go away. And
most agents don't, right?
Yep. That's their biggest challenge. So I'll have to dive into that with you a little bit later. So you're doing about 3 deals a month, 2.75 deals a month. And that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, especially on a consistent basis. And, with referrals, you're not having to manage a bunch of like funnels coming in, like Google pay-per-click and local service ads and Zillow and all this stuff. So it's a lot easier to manage and be involved in doing the stuff you're doing. Because think about like January, February, March, the sales are slow. And then all of a sudden, March, April, May, June, July, we just get racked up with sales. And being involved, going to inspections, going to handling the paperwork, showing houses, I might have done 30 deals last year, but I wrote 90 contracts. So it's like it's taking the same buyer out, constantly looking at properties. So it's a lot. And, I respect that coming from your side. Anybody on the board who's still trying to be the breadwinner and, be involved in the business and not have like assistants to handle the stuff for them where they can do this, or they're just out of the pit or out of the market completely and just want to be involved. So I respect that. I appreciate your time that you're putting into this.
Oh, thanks. I'm happy to be here. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I mean, the market has just gone so crazy. You got to kind of drop everything, or, you or somebody or your team has to go out there because, it's been a really interesting learning curve the past couple of years. But that's I think the great thing about real estate professionals, why it's so important for people to hire a realtor when they want to buy or sell, is because we're so adaptable. If the ones that are surviving year after year, we're very adaptable. It's the number one thing. You gotta be willing to make the changes, and the market's always changing. You got to change with it. So.
Well, that's we put a question on our show the other day or this weekend, or my Agents Who Win channel on this channel, because this is streaming in quite a few different places. But, what is the number one cause of agent failure? And it's a lot of it's just lack of planning. And, they don't realize what they're getting involved in and the financial capacity to keep things up. But the fact that you're still, you're selling the amount of homes you are and being involved, I respect that, because it's, trying to keep up with the consistent business is the biggest challenge, I think, for a lot of people.
Drive me a little bit crazy, but I'm gonna I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and expand a little bit in terms of the support team. It's been good so far, but
hiring my first assistant was the best. The first assistant was the best thing I did 10 years ago. Just
I'll
to be able
to pick your brain about that.
Oh yeah, we're happy to sit down and chat. We'll talk referrals and support systems. That's the only reason that I can be involved, because I'm running. I got 4 assistants in the office, 3 virtual, and we have 15 agents on our team that we're managing. And I'm still in production and, heavily, where I'm going to probably do 50 deals myself this year. Last year it was 45. The year before was 70. So managing that with the team and going through all the stuff, I couldn't do it if I didn't have the support. And, I call it my first assistant. My second assistant that I hired is still with me today. And that was 10 years ago. The other one was only 6 months in. And then we parted company. So God love Rachel for sticking with my growth and being all over the place, with that. So, but cool. Any advice as we wrap up that you want to throw to some of the new agents out there about, getting involved, or why, or like what's in it for them?
Yeah, I think, it's just the same as real estate. It's whatever they want could be in it for them. I think people just need to go try to make some authentic connections. Go connect with part of the association. Check out that you connect with. If you're trying to be global, or you are global with your real estate business, try that. Pick something that you like. Start with some of the social events. Be authentic with your connections. Just go meet people. Just go meet people. Talk to people. Let them see your face. Know your name. Have fun with it. It's not rocket surgery.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? So it's like just go have fun, meet people, and and then you can figure out if you want to be on a committee the next year, or try to get involved with the leadership, or run for the board. Just go check it out.
If you're not even wanting to step into that side of things, you can also dive into WCR, which is Women's Council of Realtors, or to the NAREP, or I think it's ARIA, which is the Asian Real Estate Association, National Hispanic Association, which I was a board member on that one. And it was nice to get involved in that community and learn from their side as well. So it's, it doesn't matter, what you get involved in, it's be involved, because as you said earlier, if you don't like what's happening, then get involved and change it and make your voice heard. A lot of what I hear in Facebook groups is, how can I join the brokerage but not be a part of NAR? And they don't want to spend the money on NAR. Okay, so do you even know what NAR is? Did they teach you that in class? No. And do you realize that NAR, if you join your association, not even your brokerage, you have to belong to NAR. And your brokerage, if it's a large brokerage, has to be, you're part of that automatically. And I'd have to look at the complete breakdown of our $1,500 a year that we spend on fees. Maybe it's $500. You don't have another $500 to join the association that actually helps promote realtors. then don't get your license. Just
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I told people were coming to me in the pandemic, oh, I want to get my license. And I'm like, well, you're basically saying, hey, I want to open a restaurant right now. And it's like,
Good analogy.
It is a business. You gotta be willing to invest. But yeah, I mean, and then people are upset about it, but they don't know what it is. They don't know what it does. And it's like,
right.
Well, just go see for yourself. Go get involved, get your feet wet, see for yourself. Like you said, and I think that's excellent. It's hard for some people to hear, but if you don't have the $500 to join and be a part of the board, it probably is not a great idea for you to try to jump into this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's smart.
So I agree with you there.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate your time today. Christina, thank you again for your time. I know we'll see each other through the week
having me.
At the state level meetings that we've got invited to, just so graciously. But guys, Agents Who Win here. I'm going to be bringing some more guests on to talk about like YPN, RPAC, and more board members because I love this. This is something I should have done 10 years ago, being more involved, and I'm glad I'm getting involved now. And I want to learn from others why they're getting involved. And Christina, I love your story. We're very, very common in things going forward through our 20 years in the business. So appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Thanks, Todd.
Yep. Awesome, guys.